Go live. We live. Talk. Start. Welcome to the stream, everyone. What are we talking about? Chapter 909. 909 predictions. Am I low? Weird. Am I a bit low? Am I fine?
You're fine.
909, let's talk about it.
Like it's not very relevant, their discussion. It's kind of bringing up Luffy in the last chapter, and that's about it.
I think we're gonna get just talking about the Asian weapons from Cobra.
Do you think he's just gonna kind of like open the floor with that? I feel like that's pretty ballsy.
I feel like he's gonna get to him, and what he has to say, he's gonna say that. He's gonna be like, "What's up with this?"
Is he gonna talk about like the allegations that like Pluton was in Alabasta, or just like really any of them or all of them?
It's probably just the Alabasta one because he doesn't know much. Wait.
Yeah. Do you think Do you think that he thinks that the other kings also have like, I don't know? I'm sure that like some of these kingdoms probably have like a poneglyph or something there that maybe if they have any insight.
Yeah. Yeah, possibly. I don't know about other kingdoms because it seems like, it's the Nefertari family that are traders. So, I mean, like he's
right.
not really supposed to know what's on it.
Okay, I might as well chip in this. What do you think are like the rebels' plans? Like we already know, like they just want to get rid of the Saints, of course. But like, what are your predictions on it? Like, what is their first move? What are they gonna be?
I think their first move is to save Kumar and then save all the slaves, and then Dragon's gonna make his declaration of war.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm Sama.
What do you think about that?
Like I could. Well, I'm just wondering, like, if he is aware that there's like an even like further hierarchy within the world government. Like, there's one, someone above the celestial dragons, and if he doesn't know that, and he figures it out, it could throw like a wrench in the whole plan, or I don't know, just reassess what he wants to do. I'm just wondering if he knows or not.
That's true.
I mean, I'm expecting him to.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Christian.
Nah, just my dog doesn't want to be on camera. People are asking about it.
Wait, they're asking about what?
So, someone wants to see the dog, so nah, she doesn't want to be on camera. Just someone in the chat. So yeah, Reverie, right? See, here's the thing, right? Is this an arc? That's what I have to ask you. Because it seems like we're just getting little tidbits. Nothing much is happening in like a story structure. Just getting like greater world stuff. Like not getting much. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not really a story right now. What do you think?
But
about that?
I would say that it contributes obviously to the larger story. So I mean, I don't know. I personally feel like it is an arc, just because like it, we're taking a break from what would be the main story and kind of focusing on these events. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Technically, it's not, but that's just how it is for me personally.
Because,
especially,
I think that's important. Yeah, for expectations, because if it's not an arc, would you expect things to get wrapped up here? But if it's not an arc, like you could just set up stuff and then talk about it later without the arc.
Right. Well, I think we talked about this the last time, like how Whole Cake kind of didn't quite wrap up because we know has further implications down the story.
Yeah.
You know, i.e., Big Mom going to Wano. So I don't see why this couldn't be the same case where, you know, we get stuff here and then its importance and relevance comes later.
I would agree with that, but there's a little bit like Whole Cake Island wrapped up somewhat. Like the putting stuff wrapped up, we got some wrap up. Do you think we're gonna get answers in the Reverie, or is it just all set up?
I think York was trying to say something.
I feel like there's gonna be like how am I gonna put this? Like very small answers. Like we won't get to see the full picture. We're only getting to see one portion of the puzzle, one piece of the puzzle, rather than the full picture. So we're getting some answers, but not like they won't answer it vaguely. Let's say that. They will give you an answer, but not the full answer. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So people in the chat are talking about how it might not be an arc, but it's more of a bridge, so that it's good for world building.
Right.
It's good for a little break from Luffy. So it might not be an arc, but it's still really good. Like it being not an arc doesn't take away from its quality.
Right.
And
I don't think
I feel like
we'll get like. Go ahead, York.
No. Go. You.
I was just gonna say, like, to answer the question about like the wrapping things up. I think we get probably a further plot in like the Revs and what they're doing, as opposed to like finding out what exactly the giant straw hat is and you know who exactly is Eam. But yeah, that's just all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like I want to.
No, go on.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna...
Like I want to try to say, like we could define the Reverie arc as like a mini arc. It's like a small little, basically what you guys said, a short little story, gives you some answers, but not like the full picture. And once another major arc comes in like I don't know how many chapters, emphasis on that quote, we'll get like more of the bigger picture down. That's me. Apologies, Christian.
No, it's fine, man. Like, this is what it's about. Like. So I've got a question here from our man Andre. He's talking about how the sort of thing that's going on in the community right now, where your favorite character can do no wrong and you ignore things when there's evidence. Like that fanboyism, I feel like it's just escalating over time. Like what could we do about that? Like we know there's Zoro fanboys out there. We know there's Sanji fanboys. You know,
like what can we do as like a community?
Yeah, like what can we do to like stop the fanboyism?
I mean, you gotta like put them in a little timeout, you know, and just like wag your finger at them and tell them you can't just ignore the facts, you know.
Yeah.
Yo. But there's also the problem with like feats versus portrayal, and I think both are like good in their own right. Because you know, the narrative of the story does dictate usually, you know, how things could play out if you're just using like feats as opposed to like physical evidence. I don't know. It's always hard because there's like a very fine line between that.
Yeah, it's like 5,000 meters of water pressure, and then Zoro cutting Pika is like an equal feat, apparently.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that is. I mean, there was just like, I want to see like more like tacticalness from Zoro. Like we know that he has like, you know, destructive capabilities, but like, I don't know. I just want to see him like be just a little smarter with his fighting. In my opinion, I think that'd be cool.
I'll say that during the Baratier recap, because Mihawk's like swordsmanship isn't all about power. And I think Zoro should learn that. Like we need to see more finesse from him, a little more technique instead of just the big attacks.
I would really like to see that. Are you guys expecting the whole? Are you expecting to see the eye in Wano? You guys?
See, here's the thing with the eye, right? It's either a complete red herring and it's never going to be shown and it's nothing, or it's like the Demon Eye Mihawk Eye crazy Super Saiyan power up. Like,
that's what I'm expecting, honestly, because I feel like I'm sure he's very aware of like his community where everyone is expecting. It's not like fucking Judge removing his bandage so we could see his eyebrows sort of thing. Like
that's just a troll from Oda. Oda's like, oh, you want to see his eyebrows? Nah, too bad.
Yeah, I feel like he can't do that with the eye. It'll just be like, oh yeah, I don't know, training my eye to see in the dark this whole time or something. He can't do that.
I mean, like, Sanji now has like a Super Saiyan mode with like the raid suit, so I would expect Zoro to have some sort of mode as well. Because Luffy's got Gear 4, Sanji's got the raid suit mode. Maybe Zoro has the demon mode, but who knows?
Yeah, I would like to see more feats from like the bottom tier as well. Like, they're not like the strongest, but like they're capable. They use like their wit and like planning, especially like Nami, Usopp, and Robin. I would love to see a good like Robin fight for once. That'd be really cool.
I want the crew to get fights. Like, I'm sick of like people like Law and like other characters getting fights for no reason. Like, alright, yeah. I get it. Law's popular for no reason, and like, but we need Robin and Nami fights. Like, you can't just ignore your main cast.
Right, because like I just picture like Nami eventually becoming like this like Shaki like character, like I just assume Shaki like she could handle her own back in the day, and I want to see Nami get to that point where it's just like she's a little bit older and you just know not to fuck with her. That'd be really cool.
What do you think about the Rock's theory about how she used to be a member of that group?
Do we have evidence to support that, though? That's still the question. We don't.
I mean, it's circumstantial evidence at best. Like, she was a pirate 40 years ago.
Wouldn't she have to... Yeah, she would have to be, like... First of all, she just
100.
looks ridiculous for how old she supposedly
like
is.
She's as old as Rayleigh, so she's old as fuck.
Right.
So she's probably definitely in her hundreds, probably, or younger, like 80s to... Like 90, 100?
I'd say like 80 to 60.
Yeah, I would say short, like mid-late 60s.
Yeah, I don't know about the theory, it's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, quick question. Like, now, my question is to you, like, how far, like, when did Rocks kind of disappeared? We confirmed that it was like 40 years ago, but, like, do we know, like, roughly when did Roger came in, like, or when he became like King of the Pirates and that's when Rocks vanished, or when he started journeying?
Well, I think it was before the Shiki, Roger, Whitebeard era was the Rocks era, so I'm assuming like just in a similar way that Luffy's kind of climbing through and it was like the Yonko's era and now he's making waves. I'm sure that they were like, the old world's version of like the Yonkos was the Rocks Pirates, I think. And then came Whitebeard, Roger, and Shiki. And they kind of just made their own era. Sense.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe the Rocks disbanded because the captain got defeated and he was ashamed, so he like left the scene and he's been in hiding ever since.
Do you think that the captain is the Lurking Legend?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that. Who the Lurking Legend is, people want to throw out Shiki, but I don't know if that's exciting enough.
They always do. Insert Shiki to make story make sense every time.
I feel like it would be better if Shiki was the Shogun of Wano.
Yeah, I just think that like if like at least the way they made it sound like when Garp was talking about them that they are like legends, to introduce like let's say the actual Lurking Legend. So now we kind of have like this weird conflict. I feel like that would be strange if Oda did that.
Yeah, like how many characters are going to be introduced at once, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm also wondering about the I expect to see a lot more sword stuff, like about like cursed blades and the different rarities and how that all plays in.
Do you reckon
we talked about this before.
Do you reckon Tashiki's going to be there just to give us that details?
She just pops in from the corner of like the panel, and she just has like a little book.
Yeah, just like,
That's
oh, this sword and this sword, and she's like in heaven because of all the swords.
I mean, I do want like Smoker and Smoker and Tashigi. Obviously, they're a pair, so I would like to see them there as well as like Fujitora and Green Bull. I think it's a perfect time to showcase Green Bull.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be more Kizaru Green Bull now because of the last couple chapters.
Yeah, I don't really think that we will see too much of Fujitora like carrying out, marine orders really too much now. Because I mean, he still is just kind of doing his own thing and not really caring about what they want him to do.
Alright, so question from the chat, from the Black Soul King. Talk about Marco. Is he the strongest first mate commander?
Why he is, or why he could possibly be?
I mean, there's no question mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Like, is he? I don't know about that because like Katakuri is pretty goddamn impressive.
Yeah, he really is, and it's so weird too talking about like pre-time skip, like because Oda's still working on things and like developing the hockey, and it's really hard to compare the two.
Yeah, like I don't think Marco showed off anything that sort of really competes with Katakuri, except for like maybe the intangible effects of his Devil Fruit and the regen of his fruit, but that's about it. Like, he doesn't show.
Yeah, I mean, people always want to bring up like him like swatting Kizaru away, and like that's legit enough. I don't know. It's just he swatted him away, yeah, but like Kizaru was like, it's just like throwing Luffy into a building. Like it didn't really affect him at all. It's like, yeah, I did it, but
yeah, I think Marco's gonna come back and he's gonna be way stronger. Like, I think that's a given.
Yeah, I think we do see him. I'm not sure if like we see him after like the Reverie, or like what Master Cat Viper's doing, trying to pick him up, or if we just go straight to Wano, some shit pops off, and then we reintroduce Marco to reassert him as a strong character by saving somebody or something.
Yeah, I think maybe he like dominates Weevil just to hype Marco up, like, because I don't know what the fuck's going on with Weevil. It's kind of just like a loose thread just hanging there for no reason.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be another like weird thing too, because then we'd be like, well, how strong is Weevil? And I don't know if we'd really have an answer for that.
Yeah, it's
I actually have a question.
Go on.
I have a question for Christian, actually. On episode, I think it was episode 4, if I'm recalling from your podcast, when you proposed a theory of Kunai, if I pronounce that correctly, please correct me, might appear. Like you said hypothetically, well, like again, going back to that episode, what are your expectations if Kunai is like revealed to be alive and is in Wano?
Are you talking about Zoro's
Kuina?
Chick?
Kuina, yes, Kuina. Pardon me about my pronunciation. I'm not forgetting their names. Forgot how to pronounce their names.
I think people say she's dead, right? But it's so early on in the story that Oda could just be like, nah, she's alive, because like there's so much stuff that Oda could be like, nah, actually this happened, because we didn't see that much. But like initially she was supposed to be dead, but Oda could go back on that, so it's a possibility for Wano.
I just feel like that's dangerous waters for him, because how do you introduce her again into the story without it being like an ass pull, pretty much,
Yeah.
Like, what really is the purpose for bringing her back? Like, because I would assume it would have to go along the lines of like Zoro's character and how it could like progress him or something. But
surpassing, he like remember in the beginning of the like I'm going by the anime or in the manga, like he could never defeat her, and if he defeats her, it's like oh his one step closer to his like goal of becoming one of the best swordsmen in the One Piece world.
She would have to be like really strong, I feel like, at that point for the defeat to even mean something. So she just been like chilling this whole time, like just training, and if so, like for what, you know?
Here's the thing, right? Zoro's flashback is so weird. I don't know what Oda's trying to say with it, because he's like, women are strong until men grow up, and like,
Yeah.
he shows that with Tashigi as well. So I don't really know what he's trying to say there. You know what I mean? Because it's like weird. Because he's like he doesn't disprove that with Tashigi. He reinforces that flashback with Tashigi's clearly far weaker than Zoro.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like, why would Kuina come back when we have Tashigi? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of makes her purpose like extremely irrelevant, I think,
Yeah.
because she's
Hey,
kind
what's
of
up,
there
guys?
to be that
What's going on, Silver?
sub-silvers.
What's up, Silvers?
How you guys doing?
The bad man.
Come
You
on.
sound tired, dude.
Oh yeah, I've been cleaning up all day.
Nope.
But
Yeah.
can somebody catch me up? Are we talking about zombie Kuina at the moment?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Oh man,
Not confirmed though.
it is confirmed that she's dead, man. We saw a body.
Yeah, I know what you mean, dude. Like, I know Oda's like, yeah, she's dead for now, but it's so small and it's so minute that he could bring her back. Like, initially, he made her dead, but he could bring her back.
Yeah,
And-
could.
Like, and another thing, like, first of all, where do you see a person falling down the steps and die? Like, I never seen it in my life, nor I heard of anything. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but
That's
I don't-
another thing that
I
like
mean,
fuels the return
in
of
real
Kuina.
In
kids have
actual,
hard heads, man.
in actual like real life, I have heard of people falling down the stairs and dying. In the One Piece world, I don't know. You could chalk that up to it just being really early in the series, and Oda didn't expect, One Piece to be going on as long. But at the same time, you're comparing a child like Kuina to these monsters that are able to cut buildings in half and take lava fists to the face. Kuina was a child,
Yeah.
and on top of it, she was carrying a large sharpening block when she fell down those stairs. She could have very easily broken her neck or something. But I do agree that Oda could bring her back. But do I want it? No.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen, but I could see it happening. See, that's my position.
Oh yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
People
So,
have fallen down the stairs before.
Yeah, like seriously.
Yeah.
So, Wano's coming up, right? And I'm starting to get a little worried about, the pacing, the structure. There's a couple good theories out there about Wano. What do you guys think about how long this arc's gonna be?
You guys want to go first?
I go for it.
Personally, I think Wano is going to be the absolute longest arc in the series. I think it's going to outdo Skypiea, it's going to outdo Alabasta, and it absolutely is going to blow Dressrosa out of the water.
200 chapters?
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe 250.
250.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
250.
I'm not
250.
even. I'm wondering about the 200 because how long was Dressrosa? Just
Dress
about
Dressrosa
100.
was 2.5 years. It was 2.5 years in Dressrosa.
Yeah, 100 chapters.
Yeah.
It's funny because like we're gonna
100?
be saying the same shit about like Wano at some point that we were saying about Whole Cake Island, where like
Oh,
it's
no
dragging,
doubt.
it's
No
slow.
doubt.
Move on to the next arc.
Well, for
But-
me, Wano has been like my absolute most anticipated arc, not because of like, oh, all of the supernovas are gonna come, all of the Marines are gonna be there. I'm only anticipating it because swordsmen are like one of my top things that I love when it comes to anime and manga. And I know at some point I am gonna go, man, can we just leave this island already? But I don't foresee that for like if it is if it is gonna hit that 250 chapter mark, I don't see myself saying that until like chapter 200.
What do you, there's this theory floating around, and I think Greg came up with it. So, it's about how Wano split up into 4 different islands, each representing one of the seasons, and that the armies are gonna split up between them. So you'll have different crews taking on different islands. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. We brought that up last stream, I think. I love that idea because like we get a lot of diversity with like the different climates or like animals or civilians living there or people or other samurai. So I think that'll be a really cool way to kind of diversify the whole place in a similar way that like Whole Cake had the different like food islands and shit like that. So I think that'd be really cool.
How many
on top of that, Japan is beautiful in every season. I don't think Oda would pass up the opportunity to draw an island inspired after his homeland in every way imaginable. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Oda's been saying Oda's actually came out and said that he's wanted to do a Japan style island since like the East Blue.
I know he said that he was most looking forward to Wano to like draw and write, so I'm sure we're gonna get some really good stuff.
Gotta wait and see though.
How many mythical Zoans are we gonna see in Wano? All of them?
At one point, I was thinking a Niue, but Oda used that for like some non-canon kabuki show in Japan. Like, what was it, last year when everyone thought that Wano was starting, but now that's out the window. I think Kaido may be a mythical Zoan. Aside from that, I'm not sure. Maybe his like right hand has a mythical Zoan as well.
What do you think about Kinemon? Do you think he actually has the mythical Zoan, the
Kitsune, the nine-tailed fox? I honestly don't know, but at the same time, I could see it happening. I would like it to be, because a devil fruit where you could only just change clothes, that seems like that makes it seem like Oda's running out of ideas for devil fruits at this point.
What if his sword ate the devil fruit?
Oh, come on, man.
The Fujitora stuff.
You never know.
I mean, personally, I'm one of the believers that thinks that inanimate objects can only have Zoan type fruits simply because without the consciousness, it like an inanimate object can't activate the power. So if you were to give it like a Logia or a Paramecia, you wouldn't be able to do anything with it, except if it was a Paramecia, like if you gave a sword the Gum fruit, it just automatically becomes stretchy.
Wouldn't that be a waste of devil fruit just to give it a Paramecia? Like, it's a bit of a waste.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and we've only seen to further prove your point, we've only seen objects with Zoans, so
yeah.
I mean, that'd be difficult to kind of pull off.
Do you think you just like squish the fruit into the sword and that's how you do it?
Just chuck it at it.
Maybe when like you're tempering the metal, you like just mix in the devil fruit juice.
It's pretty funny.
I'm not sure.
Do you think it's like a Bleach situation where like everything has a soul, like that Japanese sort of concept?
Well, you guys can go ahead.
So like that's why you could like mix devil fruits with inanimate objects, because they technically have a soul or something.
You mean the devil fruits or the inanimate objects?
Well, both, because like you have like cursed weapons. You have you give.
I would be more okay with like a really powerful character or something, like imbuing it somehow, as opposed to everything just kind of has like a base level soul thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because that's kind of what the Japanese religion kind of talks about.
Everything has a soul. Everything has a god.
Yeah.
Everything is alive around us.
Yeah.
I mean, I read an old theory a long time ago that like the devil fruits actually have devils inside of them, and the devil begins to take over your soul when you take it. And I think it's because of that theory that I'm not on board with the whole everything has a soul.
Well, they said that too, like earlier on in the series, that it was like explained like that as well.
Yeah,
It was just like an explanation.
Yeah, that's the legend. Like that's what people say. Like, who knows what the actual?
Oh, you mean that like Water 7?
I would like Sanji's talking about it, and like, what's it called? Jaya. He talks about how like, he knows about the Devil Fruit book and like how you can, you know. I can't remember what he exactly says, but he says something like that.
Broke Black Man said, honestly, Oda bringing Vegapunk to explain Devil Fruits because I'm tired. Oh, he's basically saying he just wants Oda to hurry up and bring Vegapunk in to explain Devil Fruits.
Yeah.
I think Oda's putting that off. I think Oda's putting that off because he himself doesn't even have a full-on explanation.
It's got to be like it alters the DNA of the user, because we got like people like Judge altering the lineage factor, and he's got links to Vegapunk and all that kind of stuff.
And Caesar's making like artificial devil fruits, and we know Caesar worked with Judge and on the, well, we can speculate that Caesar worked with Judge on the lineage factor.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. Like, see, are we gonna get an arc with Vegapunk, or is it just gonna be like a little side 2-chapter thing?
I think that the. Oh, go ahead.
If he just kind of shows up and it's just like, you know, an encyclopedia for like devil fruits and like the science, and then like just leaves, I feel like that'll be a total waste of his character. So I do think he does play a part in an arc. I would like to think, at least.
I don't think that the Straw Hats themselves meet Vegapunk. I think like when we transition over to like another island where the Straw Hats aren't, and you know how in some chapters we get stuff where it has nothing to do with the Straw Hats. It's just like the goings on in the world. I think we'll get a chapter like that, and Vegapunk is shown, and he'll give like a brief explanation on what he's doing at the moment. But as for the Straw Hats, I don't think they'll come in direct contact with Vegapunk.
Do you think there's gonna be?
I agree with that.
It would be cool to see like Frankie and Vegapunk kind of like you know, like a little learning teacher master thing, because he was already in his lab on
yeah, not even just any lab. It was like his home, his original lab.
Do you think that because the Revelry's got to go for 7 days, do you think there's going to be a weapon demonstration and Vegapunk's going to actually show up?
I think it would be a good time, because I mean we already got like the info that Fujitora, you know, had met with him. So I mean, I think it's a really good, convenient place to bring him in.
But my only issue with that is if Fujitora was already with Vegapunk to see his new invention, why didn't he stay with Vegapunk to come with, like, and they both show up at the Reverie together to get, so he can, instead of waiting around, he could just, you know, come in. I want to abolish the Shichibukai, and when people start giving, you know, their objection to it, he says, and this is why, and Vegapunk demonstrates whatever new weapon he has, or whatever invention, because we don't know necessarily if it's a weapon yet, but most likely it is.
Yeah, it's still gonna happen. Like, it'll be a bit more clunky, but it could still happen. Like, maybe Oda doesn't want to reveal Vegapunk's there yet, and wants to surprise you. But it could still happen. So look forward to Vegapunk if he turns up in Reverie, because we know anyone can turn up in Reverie. So
absolutely anybody. Shanks showed up. Anybody can show up.
I'm excited to see Vegapunk though, the manga in the future, because just like so much technicalities behind, like say like you guys said, the devil, so on, the inventions. I would love to see that part.
Do you think?
Another thing I'm hoping for this chapter is I hope we get more like story for like what Bonnie is exactly doing there, as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like,
I'm not sure if you guys
I'm not sure if you guys follow Yonko Productions on Twitter, but he tweeted out that next chapter we're going to Wano, and most of the time the information he gives it's 100% correct. Like,
Gonna have to make me check my own sources.
Oh man,
that would be nice.
Hey Christian, you got connections?
I just know where to look. I don't have connections.
Oh man. I mean, whether it be like the entire chapter is dedicated to what's the goings on in Wano, or at the end of the chapter, we just get a brief scene of what's going on in Wano right now, similar to the Sanji group from Dressrosa.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Zoro's in a prison cell.
Alright, from my source... yeah. My sources say that nothing is confirmed and that you should take everything with a grain of salt.
Oh man, that was quick.
It's quick on the sources.
Yeah.
That's some good sources, Christian.
Nah, I just know where to look, man, because I've been hunting down places to look for years. So I just know quality places to look, and they're always talking about spoilers. So there's
oh
people
yeah,
you gotta trust. And,
I'm weaning myself off of spoilers as of now.
Yeah. I have never got spoiled, so I'm super happy about that.
Same here. Yeah.
Here's the thing with spoilers,
gentlemen,
though. I never really used to care about spoilers. I just used to wait till the chapter comes out, but then I'm like, yeah, but there's spoilers, I gotta know what's going on. I just have to know.
Yeah, it's like that need to know what's going on right now. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And I need to know what the community is saying, straight up off the bat, because then you get the true reactions of people when they read the spoilers and they lose their goddamn mind. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
If you're on the forums when spoilers drop, it's a goddamn shit show. Everyone just this is the greatest chapter, this is the worst chapter, and it's like 3 sentences of text.
Oh man, if you want to be absolutely blown away by what people say, wait until the spoilers come out, and 5 seconds after, go on Oro Jackson and look at the comments. It's absolutely horrible.
Just jump into.
I remember when the chapter where Carrot went so long, and the spoilers came out. It was just a picture and three sentences saying Carrot will go Sulong and takes on all of Big Mom's fleet. People were automatically saying, "Oh my God, she can beat Luffy! I told you she could beat Luffy."
Yeah.
When, as soon as the chapter came out, we saw all she did was rip the steering wheels off of the ships and fighting some fodder.
It's like
people. She can still beat Luffy though.
It's like chapter 900, right?
What's that?
Chapter 900 when Yonko's Big Mom destroys the Straw Hats. and when we actually got the chapter, we're come on, man, you just fucking, what was that about?
That was the biggest troll.
Oh yeah. Ooh. I gotta head out, guys. Take care.
See you, man.
All right, man.
See you, York.
Can I join? Can stay for the rest of the stream? Have a good night, gentlemen, or a good day for Christian. Eric.
Dude.
Yeah,
man.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, so spoiler culture is just escalating week after week because of these Reverie chapters.
Oh yeah.
The Reverie has dropped so many hype moments that just left us on cliffhangers. It's starting to become whatever happens, it just happens. It's to be expected that whatever is coming next, it's not gonna deal with last chapter, and it's going to be hype.
You see, this is how Naruto should have done their summit arc. The summit arc in Naruto fucking sucks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't wait
at the
until
same time,
later in the story where we stuff happens in the story and we look back to the Reverie you know, kind of like where whatever that conclusion is where it all began, you know, and we reflect on it. And I know it's already set up like that.
I mean, the thing about the Naruto Summit arc, where where I believe Kishimoto messed up with that, is he only brought the 5 Kage, and each of those Kage only brought like 2 escorts. There was like no clan leaders, no village heads. It was just those Kage. Whereas Oda, he's bringing together, what was it, out of the 200 kingdoms, out of the 200 kingdoms allied with the world government, he brought together 50 kingdoms, and every one of those kingdoms has guards. They have people that they brought with them. It's expected that Oda is better at world building overall than Kishimoto, in my opinion. So it's to be expected.
Oda's the king of world building in Shonen. Like, no one else does it better.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I remember a few months ago, people were saying Reverie is not going to live up to anybody's expectations. I guarantee every single one of them is eating their words.
Well, you know, Eric was saying that, you know.
Oh man, really?
Oh god.
I was roasting him constantly. I'm like, nah.
Oh man.
He cops that out.
Eric, no.
He just wasn't convinced that like we would get any answers. I'm like, nah. Oda's not doing this for no reason. He's like, no man, it's gonna be like 5 chapters and we're gonna get nothing.
Well, I mean, technically we didn't get any answers to existing questions. We only got more questions.
I mean,
I'm fine with that, honestly. I love the world building, more surprises, more puzzles to, you know.
I'm absolutely fine with it, but now it's just layering on my already existing how do you say it? My anxiety to like for the story. Like what is the will of D? I went from what was the will of D and who are the Yonko to who is Im-sama and who are the rocks.
Yeah.
You see, I'm gonna make a Dark Souls comparison, right? But like, stick with me because like, Oda kind of does like his like super lore backstory like Dark Souls. Like it's not the forefront. It's like kind of in the background, and like it links everything together. And if you want to know, you gotta like look deep into the story. Look at random pictures. You gotta try and piece it together, and like you'll never find out if like your answer's canon.
And what he does get and what they do like openly give to you, you did not know, even though the evidence was right there in front of you.
Yeah, like you'll never like. That's when Oda's at his peak. Is when his imagination is better than yours. Like his ideas far surpass your own. Like that's when you know like Oda's at his peak.
Man, One Piece needs to go on forever. Otherwise, I might seriously break down.
Yeah, once everything like starts connecting and it's just like a domino effect, it's gonna be cool, but it's gonna be sad.
Yeah, because once that first domino actually falls, you know the series is starting to wind down and come to its conclusion.
Once Wano's over, like everything's just gonna be a sprint to the end.
Yeah, and that's the day that I break down, and the day that we get that last chapter of One Piece, that final panel, is the day I seriously cry on stream.
Is it King of the Pirates or is it something else?
Last chapter, I imagine we're gonna get the typical, shonen ending.
Like Luffy
time skip.
Yeah, Luffy has
time skip. He's a grown man. He's king of the pirates. Hell, we might even see a child.
And Oda's never gonna tell you whose it is, just to make you debate.
Exactly. It's just it's just a kid. We don't even see his face. Just like from his mouth down, no hair color, nothing. and they just say, "Hey," and they're like in Makino's bar, saying, "Hey, Makino, what's that flag up there?" And she's like waiting, like in the bar. She just has Luffy's Jolly Roger framed, and she said, "Let me tell you," and she'll say like, "Let me tell you the story about a kid who sat in that exact chair, and how he went from being someone like you to the king of the pirates," and then just ends.
Do you reckon the narrator is an actual character?
I
Say
was
it
wondering
again?
that myself, actually.
Oh, the narrator, is he an actual character? Um, there have been theories like you know how Usopp likes to tell Kaya's stories. Like people say, I've read theories that Usopp is the narrator and he's telling like a story around a campfire to a bunch of kids or whatever.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was when Frankie blew up Dr. Vegapunk's like laboratory. It like the narrator said that this event would come to be known as I forget what it was, but just the fact that he said this event became known as like further indicates that the story's already done from the narrator's point of view.
Yeah, and
So
like the Grand Fleet, when the Grand Fleet was formed, he said that each of these men will have a huge impact on history. Like they'll do something that'll impact history at some point.
Do you think it's
So
Brook
yeah.
because he outlives the entire crew?
oh man, I remember seeing
Ah.
like a concept art of like Brooke like over like the graves of like
Oh
his
yeah,
crew.
he was standing in front of the grave. I have that picture. I'll put it in the Discord, but I'm hoping not because that's beautifully tragic.
Does he become the new Crocus, like the new Guardian of the Grand Line?
Hmm. It would. It fits. I mean, the
It's a
criterion's there.
possibility. I mean, I actually don't think that we'll even get to that part of the story
Nah, probably
because
not.
like the average lifespan of a character of a person in One Piece is like
Get a
140
haircut.
years.
Nah.
The time skip, I don't think that they'll even be at like some of the characters. I don't think that they'll be at half that age. So
Yeah.
Brook may still be palling around with his crew, but I don't know. I hope Brook is not like that's it's most likely gonna happen. Like if we're looking at it, if we were living in the One Piece world, Brook is definitely gonna outlive the entire crew, and like he'll play Bink Sake at at all of their graves. But
The sadness.
I just don't want to see that panel.
Yeah.
Wrap it up when you want to wrap it up. It's over an hour.
Alright, so we're gonna wrap it up soon, so last questions, get them in.
Hmm.
Do you want to talk about One Piece art? Do you want to talk about other manga? What do you guys want to talk about?
What is your guys' favorite like art or chapter for art wise?
Art wise, I could not tell you that. I mean, I do like certain panels, like when Luffy hit that Shanks figure is amazing. I have a Shanks
Got
figure
you.
back there as well. Shanks is the god of the verse. Shanks is
Pass
the
me the
god
volume.
king, the quote Christian.
The
But
God King,
yeah,
that's true. Fresh from
I like the
Japan.
Red Hawk panel. I like the Red Hawk panel. Basically, every panel where it shows Luffy just absolutely decking somebody. I love that.
Possibly the best cover of all time, right here. The new
I need to
volume,
start my collection.
fresh from Japan.
Oh man.
Look at that fucking.
Oh man, that
Look at
is
that.
gorgeous.
Look at that.
Yeah, that looks good.
Hey, check the Discord. I found the picture. But aside from that, hey, you mentioned Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Did you watch E3 at all?
Yeah, man. Sekiro died twice. I'm in. Day one.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
Sekiro. I don't know how I feel about Neo 2. I never played the first one.
People say Neo's a really good game, which it kind of is, but like, I don't like the loot system. Sometimes the bosses are just cheap one shots. You know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's pretty good, but it's not as good as a FromSoft.
Ghost of Tsushima, like from what the original trailer showed, and from who the developer is, like Sucker Punch, I was expecting something a lot more flashy, but instead took it it took it a little too traditional,
That's what
like
I
too
mean.
realistic,
Especially.
especially.
It's a Western developer trying to do a Japanese game, and they don't understand what makes Japanese games fun. Like, it's always
Yeah,
it's always the wacky combat. It's not always about realism. Like, if you watch a samurai movie, it's they're not doing real moves. It's all choreographed stuff. Like, realism is not what
yeah.
makes samurai combat interesting. I don't think they understand that. Like,
You didn't think
Like
that
from
the gameplay trailer like looked good at all, or
Oh
like
no, it looked good. The visually it was stunning. Gameplay wise, I'm pretty sure it's fun, but from the people who made Infamous, I was expecting something a little bit more flashy
you see,
rather
okay.
than that patient waiting game type combat.
So Sony's lineup is just too similar at the moment. It's just realistic game after realistic game. All right, can we get a
You got Last
little
of Us.
little bit of variation in like what kind of things we get? Because like we get third person
yeah, those
action
are some
games.
really promising like sequels though. That I mean, I don't know. I feel like the wackiness is really good for like Nintendo, but I think that it looks really good their lineup, especially with The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
I mean, can you name another game similar to Ghost of Tsushima that like okay, you expected it to be wacky, but like when was the last time we actually had a like you know, I mean the moves look really eccentric. It looks like it's all a cinematic, it seems like. And I'm wondering how
Oh
that
yeah.
combat's going to play out, but
Oh
like
yeah, by
it
no
looks
means am I saying
solid.
that it's gonna be a bad game. Like I'm actually interested. I'm still gonna get it day one. It's just that from what was shown in the first from the first trailer that we saw last year at E3, and
Yeah.
the fact that Sucker Punch's name is on it, I was expecting something a little bit different. I think my expectations is what brought it down a little for me. But
yeah. Like
I'm still gonna get it day one.
where is Sony's crazy action game? Like they're getting rid of them. You know, they used to have Infamous, they used to have God of War. Now their God of War's a lot slower. Now Ghost of Tsushima's a lot slower. Like
Yeah.
they're not giving the variety of like gameplay, you know what I mean? Like it's all slow, methodical gameplay. And it's good.
And
Don't get me wrong, it's good.
yeah.
But where's the hack and
Yeah,
slash?
God of War by no means. But God of War was by no means a bad game. It was phenomenal. It's just that from what God of War used to be to what it is now, it kind of lost a little bit of its pizzazz, so to say.
Yeah, like I think Sony's like those hack and slash games are like old. They're old generations, and no one wants to play them anymore. But like people still want to play those games, and I feel like Sony are just ignoring that audience. They're not giving him, you know.
Yeah. I will say though that the demographic probably has shrinked over the years because I mean like Diablo was such a great like hack and slash game and like that population's declined and I think a lot of other ones are doing the same. I think they're fun as hell. Like I love those games. I agree. I wish they would make more, but I don't know. There's just a
I think
shift in
Sony
change.
I think Sony is moving away from the visual, well, not so much the visual aspect, but visuals when it comes to gameplay, and are putting more of their resources into, you know, like deep story. Because if you look at what God of War was, yeah, it was a revenge story that had some emotion behind it, but at its core, people looked at it for how brutal it was. Whereas now, it's more, this is a story about about a son and his father, and this journey to put Kratos' wife to rest.
Yeah, I think Sony at the moment. I think
Yeah, I mean, like
Sony at the moment are like leading the charge in storytelling, but
Yeah.
gameplay wise, they're a bit lacking. Like, come on, we don't always want crazy cinematics and like realistic combat. You can do both. You can tell a good story and you can do good gameplay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to sacrifice one for the other.
I
did you
think
guys ever
the
play
reason that
Borderlands?
I was never a Borderlands fan.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
it was
the
kind of like
RPG
that for the second one. The story
The
was solid and
RPG
the gameplay
shooter
was
thing
fun.
was never really for me. I played the Tiny Tina DLC. Like my friend got me to play it with him, but aside from that, I'm not too big into it.
Dude, the Spider-Man game looks sweet too.
Oh, absolutely. I already have it pre-ordered.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that. It's gonna be so fun.
Comes out in September, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, and
yeah.
Red Dead is coming soon.
On my list, I have Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Jump Force, obviously,
Oh, man, Jump
Sekiro.
Force. Like, is it gonna be good? Like, seriously?
I'm hoping the gameplay looks way better than J-Stars, because I think where J-Stars failed is one, the maps were way too big, and there were too many characters on the battlefield at one time, which meant they had to slow down gameplay. They had to make sure that once a combo ended, the character could, like, whoever suffered from that combo had time to, fall down, get up, recuperate, and get their bearings, which slowed down the gameplay even more. But overall, I'm hoping Jump Force fixes that, because now it's just one-on-one combat. It's not 3v3. I'm hoping.
Yeah. It's a tag team system, so it should be a lot faster.
Yeah. And plus, I'm only playing it to do Naruto and Luffy, because I love the ninjas versus pirates thing.
All right,
Everybody else, I don't care.
We'll finish the stream with one question, right? What's your dream character for the game?
Wait, what?
Dream
Force?
Jump Forces.
My dream Jump Force character. I'm not sure if it's a shonen. If it's a shonen Jump
only.
character.
Yeah, shonen only.
Oh, shonen only? Okay, there's a French manga that got published in Japan a couple years ago. It's called Radiant. I want Seth, or it's either Seth or Grim. Beautiful series. One of them.
That's a tough one, because I mean, like, can we use like characters that were already in, like, because I didn't play the other, like.
Yeah, you can have anyone you want.
Man, I would love to be able to fucking play as Mihawk and do some crazy shit. That'd be so cool.
Oh man.
Like Mihawk, when he brings out, like, he pulls out his sword for like a special attack, like, that's gonna be dope.
Do you think Katakuri is gonna make it?
Ooh, I don't know. I could
Because
see him
Jump
not
Force?
making it, but I don't know. He's really recent of a character, I would think too.
I could see him being DLC. I could see him being DLC along with Doflamingo if Doflamingo doesn't make it in.
I feel like
Katakuri
is like the new Doflamingo. He'll be around in marketing for years. Like, he's one of those characters that'll just be at everything.
He got extremely popular. Like, super popular.
Great character.
Yeah,
That's in the eyes of the beholder.
My one dream character, right, is give me that Dio Brando action.
Dio Brando, JoJo?
Yeah, JoJo.
I was never a JoJo fan.
Dude,
I've yet to begin JoJo.
You gotta
Oh shit!
you gotta put in the time to watch the greatness of JoJo.
People have been telling me that, and I think the overhype is what's putting me off.
I mean, it's kind of like it's big, but it's not that big. Like, it's not like it's a Hunter x Hunter where everyone just won't shut up about it. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
It's really good.
Yeah.
all right,
But
yeah, I think we're ending the
Yeah,
stream. So
yeah, I was about to say thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
it's all good, man.
Take it easy, guys.
See ya.